Steve, after what happened on Friday, what have you said to the players and what have you been working on since then?
No, just trying to pick up the mood in the camp. Obviously a little bit flat after Friday. Was a game we expected to get something out of. Went against us on the night, so it was a little bit flat. Saturday training was better today, so I'm sure we'll be ready to go tomorrow because it's another game. I spoke on Thursday about we need a big win. We definitely need a big win.
There was a lot of honesty after the game. Your captain was very honest. Has that gone down well, that frank exchange of views maybe between everyone? No,
I don't think there's certainly no problem within the camp. I think when you've got so many experienced players around, I saw Charlie saying in the media that he disagreed a little bit with Andy. They're all big boys. They can talk it through. There's no issues in the camp.
Is that good though? Is that
I think
what
great.
You need?
I think the honesty is great. It tells you where everybody's at. Honest bunch of people want to do as well as we can for the country. And like we say, we were disappointed with the result on Friday, so we have to try and make amends tomorrow night.
When you say it's a must-win, how do you go about doing that against the best team in the world?
You have to be defensively organised, you have to be disciplined, but you also have to have a threat. There's no point in thinking that we can camp in for 95, 97 minutes, whatever the time is. At the same time as being defensively organised and defensively strong, we need to have a threat going forward. So hopefully we can get enough and we can get a good balance between the two.
How tough is it to get that balance between the two? You've had a game against Belgium previously, and also the rest of the players played against them a year ago. Do you learn anything from those experiences to try and get that balance right? Yeah, I'm sure you always learn. If you're not always learning, you're not doing your job properly. So the players will have learned a little bit from the June experience, where we felt, although it was backs to the wall a little bit, we stayed in the game for a long time. If we can do that here at home at Hampden, we think that we've got the players to cause Belgium some problems. Is it difficult to keep the guys motivated now where it is a difficult situation now to get out of the group? Motivation shouldn't be a problem when you're playing for your country, certainly. I'm as motivated now as I ever was. We want to come out of the group. It's going to be very difficult now, we realise that, everyone has to be honest about that. But we still have the safety net if we need it in March.
You said, Steve, after the game on Friday night that the players dropped off after going ahead. You said you seemed a little bit baffled by it. Have you managed to look back and try to get to grips with actually what happened with the players? No, I think it's not so much the players. It was the way the game went. We got penned back in our own half. We didn't push up far enough, quick enough. You can start to analyse it. Maybe we didn't put enough pressure high up the pitch to allow the defence to come out. Maybe the defence thought they were comfortable sitting in. Listen, it's a game of football, it's what happens. We've looked at it, we've analysed it, and hopefully, well, certainly it'll be a different game because Belgium play a different way to Russia, so we'll have different problems to think about for tomorrow night. Andy Robertson, a few of the players mentioned that they thought there was a nervousness amongst the crowd that kind of fed onto the park. I mean, wasn't a full house at Hampden on Friday night, I would imagine it'll be busier tomorrow. What's your message to the supporters to try and come out and back the team in what will be another difficult night? No, listen, you need the crowd there. We need the Tartan Army on side. We've spoke a lot about the crowd. I thought the crowd that came the other night were good. We gave them something to shout about at the start. I'm not so sure it was a nervousness in the crowd that got onto the pitch and affected the players. I think the fact that Russia got a good control of the game makes the crowd go quiet, but going quiet and being nervous is two different things. Is it difficult for the players, Steve, when they come out and, as I said, Hampden, there was 20,000 empty seats on Friday? Does that affect them, not having a full house to play in front of? No, it doesn't affect them at all. I think they can go out there and play. They're professionals. They can play in front of any size of crowd. In terms of going back to the game against Belgium previously, there was a lot of positives to take. What can you take and what can the team take from that performance where you were competitive for so long in that match? No, that's exactly what we can take. We were in the match for a long time. We almost got to half-time. If we got to half-time 0-0, can be a different game second half. But listen, as I said before, we have to defend well, but we have to have a threat on the attack, and that's what we've been working on in training, and hopefully we can show that on the pitch tomorrow.
Steve, you had to work on the mentality of the team more than you maybe thought you would have to when you first took over, because there were a few players that mentioned the nerves maybe got to them after they were 1-0 up and maybe didn't manage the game as well as they might have done. Is that something that you've had to look at, and you wanted to be comfortable when they're ahead as well as chasing the game as well?
I think is that, listen, all the players are very, very experienced players at their own level, so they should be able to handle the pressure and the expectation. I think some of the talk after the game about the nerves and not handling the game properly is a little bit. It's not wrong. It's not quite right, you know. It was the way the game went away from us more than the nervous aspect. We lost control of the game tactically, more or less, because we allowed Russia to pen us in closer to our own 18-yard box. They played well off the big striker, and that caused us a lot of problems. So I'm not so worried about the mental side. We've got good mental strength.
Obviously, the Belgium are the best team in the world. The underdog status is something that Scotland have relished in the past. You know, done well with that. Is that something you're hoping to fire into them as well?
We're just hoping to put on a good performance, and hopefully the performance is good enough to get us the result that keeps us in the campaign to qualify out the group. So that's as far as we go with that one.
Has what happened on Friday changed the way you're approaching this game, or has nothing altered really? No,
nothing's altered. The points are still there to be played for. So the preparation, the way I was going to play this game, hasn't changed. It will be the same style, same way that I had planned to play.
Have you talked to the players about taking responsibility when there's those moments as it begins to fade away from the game plan?
No, I think we spoke a lot about a group. Obviously, we had a little debrief on the game. So yeah, we had some words. We spoke. I spoke to the group. For me, it was at length. Doesn't mean to say it was a long conversation, but it was a good conversation between myself, my staff, and the players.
Do you anticipate a significant number of changes for tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think with the games coming, two games in such a short space of time against high quality opposition, there's definitely room. There's players in the squad who will get a chance to play. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions from?
Is Stephen Mason likely to be back involved?
No, I'm probably not going to put Stephen in it. He's okay, but I don't think it would be fair on Stephen to put him back in at this moment in time.
And just on that short turnaround, how difficult is it to manage the players both physically and mentally after a game like Friday and coming so quickly into Monday?
Yeah, but they're all players at the highest level. They're used to the quick turnaround. They know how to do their rehabilitation or their warm down. They have their easy day. They have a little bit of work today tactically, so they'll be ready to go. No worries.
Hello, Mr. Clarke. Pierre Depré, Belgian television. 2 questions, please, about Romelu Lukaku. First, do you have a plan against him? And also, perhaps, a few opinions from you from WBA to Inter Milan.
Sure. If I had a plan, I wouldn't tell you. So if we've got a plan, that's top secret. Listen, Romelu's a player that I've worked with before. I mentioned in June when I spoke to you guys over there. Top quality player. I enjoyed working with him. I'm pleased he's got his move to Italy. I think he needs that to push his career on. Wish him all the best, but obviously I hope he doesn't do very well tomorrow night.
No plan against him?
No, we have a plan.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you.
We will see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. No, one more.
Hi, good evening. Did you watch the game in San Marino? And Belgium struggled to score in that game, interestingly enough. And do you can take anything out of that game going into Monday's game?
Obviously, I watch all the games, so I had a look at the Belgian San Marino. I found out with this job you do a lot of watching matches. So yeah, we've had a look at it. San Marino defended very well. I think Belgium were a little bit off key, not quite fully wound up, and I'm sure we'll see a different Belgian team tomorrow night.